thanks for tuning in. Today I want to do a quick unboxing video. This is actually my first Gucci unboxing because it is like the first major Gucci piece that I've added to my collection since I have been seriously collecting designer pieces. If you follow my channel for a while, you'd know that my favorite brands are Chanel and Hermes, and I've also started to build up my Dior collection, though it's not that large. I definitely have a soft spot when it comes to Chanel and Hermes. Earlier this year, I had started adding some pieces from Louis Vuitton. They were small pieces. I still don't have a Louis Vuitton handbag. And now I have some pieces from Gucci. I walked into the store with my boyfriend because we were looking for something very specific. I fell in love with an additional piece, so this was not something I was really planning. So I thought it would be really helpful to do this unboxing and share why I ultimately decided to add this piece to my collection. All right, so I'm going to start with the first piece up here. And as you can see, it's a tiny box with the thick Gucci ribbon. Put that to the side here. So here's the little box. I will open it up. And this is how it looks on the inside, the little dust bag in there. Some of you might be able to tell what this item is already now based on everything you've seen, but I'll open up the dust bag. Inside is actually the Gucci Marmont Super Mini. Let me take this protective cover off. There we go. So this is the Gucci Marmont Super Mini or Supreme Mini. I think it's called a Super Mini or an Extra Mini. I don't really follow Gucci, so to be honest, I don't know the official name. I will either put it up here or definitely write it down below if you are interested, so you have all the details. But this is, I believe, called the Super Mini in the Gucci Marmont style because of this particular GG logo. And of course on the back there is the adorable little heart. It has the antique gold hardware. It is a snap button closure, and it's just one compartment on the inside. There is no pocket or like other compartment. It's just one big box. There is a little key ring holder, which is detachable, which I really liked. And the straps here are also detachable. Let me see if I can, there we go. These are detachable through the D-rings on each side. So there isn't that much to this bag. It is really tiny, it's really adorable. I should have taken a picture while I was in the shop so you could see how it lays, but I'll eventually take some photos with this item so you can see how it looks against my frame. But it is super, super tiny. It is absolutely adorable. And I really fell in love with this, and I did not expect to fall in love with this piece. So I know the Gucci Marmont has been out for a really long time now. It has been a highly trendy bag that has hit the luxury market, if you will, and has been experiencing a lot of popularity in the recent years. Personally, I know a lot of YouTubers that I follow who own this item either in the larger size, like the medium or the large, or specifically in the super mini size as well. And I appreciated it. I didn't have like a strong desire to have to go pick it up. I just acknowledged that it existed and that it was available, and that was about it. I was looking to add a white bag to my collection. Every summer when it starts getting hot and humid, there's just something about a crisp white bag that I always want, and I feel like I lack in my collection. So I had been on the lookout for a white bag. I was thinking about adding a white Chanel flap because I have seen some of them on the resale market and they are just gorgeous and they look so so nice in the summertime because it is like that really clean white look, and it's a neutral color, so it would go with a lot of outfits. But instead, I recently picked up the gray flap, and if you haven't seen that unboxing, I'll link it above. But that gray flap kind of satiated some of the need for that white bag because it is a light gray, and I thought it would be a great neutral to add to my collection and wear all year round. It wouldn't be so seasonal anymore. So I walked into the Gucci store to look for this item that's back here. I'll unbox in a second. In that particular store, on my way to the shoes, you walk through all the bags, and so I happened to be looking at a lot of the bags that were out, and I had never really handled the Gucci Marmont in person, so I started looking at that. I also had been interested in the Sylvie in the white color. I noticed at the Gucci store that they also had like a super mini size. And so I tried on the super mini, and it was very cute. It has very shiny gold hardware, and it has a shiny strap. It is pretty much the same size as this one, but much more structured. It's much more rigid. And that also looked really adorable. It looks a little more dressy, given it's that Sylvie style, and I think it's intended to be a little more dressy. So I looked at it. I preferred that over the mini size that was on display that I also tried. It has a little top handle. I thought I would like it having a top handle, but it's a little clunky on that bag. It just didn't sit well. It's a little too structured, too boxy, and it's like jutting out of my body, so I didn't care too much for that. So I started thinking, oh, do I actually want to go the super mini route, like this tiny bag that isn't really useful for every day in New York City. Like if you had a car, I would imagine something like this, like a super mini size, could be fine as long as it fits your phone, your cards, your keys. Then like you can leave your sunglasses in the car, and if you need other things, you can like leave them in your car. But in New York City, I don't have a car, and I would have to either walk around or use mass transit, so sometimes you need a larger bag to carry more of the things with you. So as I was thinking about that, the SA who was helping me, she was really, or I think she's called a CA, a client assistant, or client associate. She was like, are you looking for smaller bags? And my boyfriend's like, yeah, she's looking for a white bag. So she's like, oh, give me a second, let me just bring something else out. And she walked out with this guy. And initially I was like, oh, I think it looks a little too casual, but when I put it on, I just had that feeling of, oh, actually I think this will do. Like this is something that I'm looking for, and it would fit my needs. She did tell me that because the Marmont style is a lot more supple and less rigid, that it fits more things in it, and that you can fit an extra large phone. So if you had like the Plus, or the iPhone Plus, or the X Max, like those sizes would fit. In the Sylvie, they would not fit. The max size would be a standard iPhone size. So she was like, you know, it can fit a little bit more, it's a little more casual, you know, and this might be something that's more interesting for you. And she was right. I put it on, and then I was like, oh, I even put both of them on, the Sylvie and this super mini, to compare. And while I like the look of the Sylvie, I knew it wasn't going to be as practical because it cannot fit as much. It does fit my phone because I have a standard iPhone size, but it would not fit a lot more than that. It's like your phone would fit. You could put a card holder if you wanted, but you'd probably be easier just sliding out your cards and sliding in there, and then maybe your keys, and that's about it. So I was debating, and then all of a sudden I had this idea of like, well, what if I could make this like a belt bag? I don't want to buy a dedicated belt bag because I feel like I'd lose the versatility, and once that trend dies out, I might not really be able to use those bags as much as I will while it's still trendy. So I don't really want to commit to buying a full-on belt bag, but what if this can convert into a belt bag for me? It's a tiny size, it's really cute, it would work. I felt like it would work for being around the waist, and it wouldn't look too awkward. And while I was in the shop, I actually managed to figure out a way to make it work, to actually make it into a belt bag. So then that's what sold me. I was like, okay, I'm done. I can wear it crossbody, so I can use the full strap. I can wear it crossbody. I can loop the strap in here, not like that, like this. Oops. I can loop the strap once and carry it as like a tiny evening bag, which I thought would also work for nights out and things like that. And then I can also wear it as a belt bag while it like right here, and it worked out for me. So I was like, okay, I think I'm sold, I'm done. I think this is for the price. I think it's really a versatile piece that would be really handy to have, to just be hands-free when you don't need a lot of items with you. I also have an upcoming trip planned to Hawaii, and I thought it would be really handy for while I'm out there on the beach. Like, I'm likely to have a bigger beach bag that carries like my towels and some of the other things like snacks and water and things like that. So I don't need a massive bag. So this is something that I can just like sling over my body when I know I need to carry it with me, and otherwise have the bigger items in a bigger bag. This is a long story, I know, but I hope that helps you decide for yourself whether this is something you want to add to your collection. Normally, I'm not a huge fan of gold hardware on white bags. I've seen some Chanel flaps on the pre-loved market with gold hardware, and I'm like, absolutely not. If I were to go that route, I'm always like white and gray, these kinds of colors. I need it to be with silver hardware because I feel like it just looks so much more cool and crisp that way. But I don't hate this. I don't hate this with this antique gold hardware. I think it's because it is antiqued and it's not so shiny. And I think it's also because this white color is slightly cream. It is not a stark white. It's not like a white out white. It is definitely more of a cream or ivory color, and that's probably why the gold looks good on it, because the warm tones are kind of connected that way. But yeah, this is the new Super Mini that I am adding to my collection. Some may ask about if I'm concerned for color transfer. I am not particularly concerned. I won't like purposefully do anything stupid, but I don't think I really want to baby this bag too much. I will just wear it the way I want to, and if it does result in some color transfer, I'll deal with it. All right, so now on to the next piece, which, given the size of this box, I'm sure you can already anticipate what would be inside. So this is the original item that my boyfriend and I walked into Gucci for, and it was because we wanted to get this specific item. All right, so let me just run through. Of course, there are beautiful little dust bags in the inside. They have really satiny dust bags. I think it's interesting how each brand selects different material for their dust bags. Some are more cotton based, some are more like linen-y, and then here they have really satin ones. But I'll show you. This is what we picked up, and of course there's another one. Here is the other side. So I'm gonna leave the stuffing in there so you can see. So these are the Gucci rubber slides, and you might be wondering why these look massive. That's because these are my boyfriend's, and we intended on getting a matching pair of slides for our beach trip that's coming up. And you may laugh, you may think that's hilarious, but that was something we wanted to do. And we were looking at the different styles of slides they have. They had the one that looks like the retro kind of game style logo with the ivory base and the Gucci logo. They had ones that were monochrome and had Gucci logo on it. They had these, and they also had some with the like monogram print on it. So it was actually that canvas piece that goes across the top. For the women's in this style, so you'll see this is like the rubber GG, I think that's what they call it, like a rubber GG style. You'll see there are cutouts with the GG logo. Let me bring it up close. So for this specific style, for the women's, they came out in a white and a hot pink color. And for the men's, they came out with this black and the red color. I would have just picked one of the women's colors, but I would have picked white, and then I felt the white would get too dirty. We both liked the black, so we wanted to go with that. So what I ended up doing, because I am a US 8, a woman's 8, I was able to fit in the men's 6. Smallest size they come out in is a 5. I feel like the 5 may fit up to a US women's 7. And then you can go from there. If you're smaller, if your foot size is smaller than that, then I would definitely recommend sticking to the colors that come out for the women's design. In terms of comfort, I think they fit the same way. Like, this isn't a terribly intricate shoe that it would matter whether it was designed for the woman's foot or a man's foot. So if your sizing works out that way, I think go ahead and just purchase the men's size if you want the black color. They didn't have my size in the store, so I did place an order and I have to go pick it up, which is why I am showing you the larger men's size that we picked up for my boyfriend. So these are the Gucci slides. They feel really, really comfortable. When I tried them on, they felt really comfortable. This design actually looks really pretty on the foot, I would say, because your skin shows through it. I really liked that touch. It's a little more subtle because it's all monochrome, and the cutouts just make it a little extra interesting. So this is definitely a fun purchase that we made, a splurge for ourselves, and then you know, we just wanted to use them by the pool, by the beach, because they're really easy to just wash clean once you're done taking them out. Alright, so that's everything. That was my quick unboxing video and my little spiel as to how I ended up adding that little mini to my collection. Like any of the items that I add to my collection, I will do a follow-up video that's a what's in my bag and first impressions, so that I can share how I get along with that particular piece. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below or head on over to Instagram and I'd be happy to help however I can. Speaking of Instagram, I will likely be sharing my styling photos with this particular item on Instagram, so feel free to follow me there so you can see how it fits against my frame and how I get on with incorporating it into my lifestyle. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate all of your feedback and support. If you like this kind of content, I post videos every Sunday, so if you'd like to be one of the first to know, feel free to subscribe. So until next time,